morning. Good morning. I'm Chester Lee, and I'm the Deputy Superintendent of Schools, and I'm here to welcome you to our second annual Spelling Bee. It's also, I think, the first time that someone will say to you, I welcome the class of the year 2000, because that's when you people will be graduated. The annual Spelling Bee is sponsored by the Wakefield item, and right off, I want to recognize Glenn Dalbear, the president of the Wakefield item. Just stand and be recognized over here. Mr. Dalbear and his family provided all the wonderful trophies for the winners, and they provided the busing for all the students who come here. And I think it's an exciting thing to be able to come together with your classmates, because next year you're all going to be in the centralized 5th grade down to the Atwell School. So the people you're looking at today, the people you're sitting next to, these are your classmates from now to the year 2000. So get to know each other, and I'm sure as you grow older, you'll look back and you'll remember the spelling bee at the Dalbear School. Just let me also welcome the parents. Many of the parents are here, I suppose, the parents of the winners who are seated on the stage, as well as a number of alternates that are in the audience, and we certainly are going to recognize them. I think before we introduce the individuals on the stage, I would like to introduce to you the alternates. The alternates are sitting in the audience, so when I call your name, if you just stand up, and when we finish calling all of the names, then I think they deserve a well-earned round of applause. I know why some of you are such good spellers, because you had to learn to write your name. Some of the names are very difficult for me, and if I mispronounce them, I apologize, but if it sounds like it might be you, please stand up. The alternates will be Candace Vidakritch. Fine, stand right there. She's representing the Franklin School. Carrie Tracy from the Dalbear School. Joseph Thomas from the Greenwood School. Matthew, where's Joseph? Here he comes. Matthew Stevenson from the Walton School. Aaron Schipperly from the Greenwood School. John Salaiko from the Hurd School. I apologize, John. Dan Relihan from the Montrose School. Janelle Orsini from the Franklin School. Erin McLaughlin from the Montrose School. Julie Higgins from the Doyle School. Andrea Garavilla from the Franklin School. Josh Diashno from the Hurd School. Caitlin Conway from the Walton School, and Matthew Talley from the Greenwood School. We'll wait for Matthew to get up. And these are the alternates for the spelling bees in the local schools, and we're very, very proud of you, and I think they deserve a well-earned round of applause. Thank you very much. We had one finalist from each fourth grade classroom throughout the system. And they are seated on the stage in reverse alphabetical order. And at this time, I would like you to meet our winners from the local schools and to have them just stand and be recognized. Then they have to go to work. Representing the Greenwood School finalists, Santa Zingarello. Representing the Walton School, Peter Townsend. Representing the Montrose School, Scott Patrick. Representing the Franklin School, Ross Christine. Christine Ross, I'm sorry. Representing the Hurd School, Daniel Raines. Representing the Hurd School, Kim Orban. Representing the Franklin School, Shelby Nickerton. Representing the Dalvere School, Alexandria Nicolo. Representing the Walton School, Paul Murphy. Representing the Greenwood School, Laurie Melanson. Representing the Franklin School, Ross McLean. Representing the Greenwood School, Julie Farwell. Representing the Doyle School, Rebecca Crouse. And finally, representing the Montrose School, Justin Chapman. Job well done. Thank you. I also wanted to mention that besides our very proud parents, that in the audience are the very proud teachers of your children, the teachers of the students on the stage, and the teachers of all the students before you. And I would simply like to recognize them. I'd like you to stand when I call your name, just so that some of the parents will recognize you from other school districts. In Dalvere School, Mr. Shanahan. Doyle School, Mrs. Sullivan. From the Franklin School, 3/4 grades, Mrs. Corbett, Mrs. Sweeney, and Mrs. Appleyard. Thank you. Greenwood School, also 3/4 grades, Mrs. Glidden, Mr. Lantine, and Mrs. Terrell. Thank you. Hurd School, 2/4 grades, Mrs. Wallace and Mrs. Hughes. Montrose School, also 2/4 grades, Mrs. Philbrick and Mrs. Knitsky. And representing the Walton School, 2/4 grades, Dr. Shorman and Mrs. Davis. At this time, I would like to call upon the principal of the Dalvere School, Mr. Rich Birchall, who will explain to the audience and the contestants the specific rules of this spelling bee. Mr. Birchall.
Good morning. On behalf of the Dalvere School, I'd like to welcome you all. These rules are based on the format of the Skips Howard National Spelling Bee, which coincidentally is occurring as we speak in Washington, D.C. And as Dr. Lee mentioned, one finalist has been chosen from every fourth grade classroom in Wakefield. The words used in this spelling bee have been selected from the McDougall-Littell Comprehensive Word List, kindergarten through grade 8. There'll be a panel of judges, the 4 elementary principals, who will be the final arbiters of any decisions that crop up during the spelling bee itself. I'd just like to review a couple of the rules, probably more for the audience than for the finalists because they're familiar with them, but they may be somewhat different from rules that you've encountered before. I think the most important one, and one that we've tried to emphasize to the finalists, is that having started to spell a word, a contestant may stop and start over, retracing the spelling from the beginning. But in that retracing, there can be no changes. So that once the word has started to be spelled, it cannot be changed. And we've recommended to the finalists that they take a deep breath before they start to spell and really think about what it is they are going to spell, because unfortunately sometimes what happens is, and it happens to all of us, we start to say something and realize we've made a mistake and go back and try and correct it. But unfortunately in this spelling bee, once it's said, it is the final version of what they can say. Upon missing the spelling of a word, the finalist will be out of the contest, and I would ask the kids after, if you do misspell a word, to just leave the stage and have a seat right here on the floor in front of the stage, because we'll be calling you back up onto the stage at the end of the spelling bee. The next word on the pronouncer's list is given to the next competitor. The next competitor is not asked to spell the word that the previous speller had misspelled. That changes when the contestants are reduced to 2. The elimination procedure changes. At that point, when one contestant misspells a word, he or she will stay on stage. The next contestant has to spell that word correctly and then spell an additional word correctly. If the second contestant manages to spell the first word correctly and misspells the second word, then the first contestant will have to spell that misspelled word and another word to win. So the process does change with the last 2. If both spellers misspell the word, then the spelling bee just continues in the order in which it has gone. One rule that we have for the audience is that we ask you not to applaud after the spelling of each word. We would like you to save your applause for the point at which one of the finalists misspells a word and returns to the audience. We think that that will move the spelling bee along and also make these already nervous kids a little less nervous. I believe those are the key rules. Any other questions that come up will be addressed by the panel of judges over there. And I wish all the contestants good luck, and give you back to Dr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Burchell. Just one final thing. There are judges in this spelling bee, and for judges, we are very fortunate to have the 4 elementary principals who will judge whether or not a word has been spelled correctly and in following the appropriate rules. Mr. Burchell, principal of the Dahlberg and Montrose School, was just here, sitting on the far left. Mr. Peter Magner, sitting next to Mr. Burchell. Could you just stand, Mr. Magner, please, so people can see you. He's the principal of the Walton. Principal of the Walton, the West Ward, and the Hurd schools. Mr. James Boyd, principal of the Franklin School and the Doyle School. And Miss Judy DeLucia. Judy's the principal of the Greenwood School and the Ewell School. I've talked to each one of the contestants. None of them are nervous. We have a beautiful day. We have a beautiful audience. And it's time to get on with the contest, and I would like to introduce to you the Superintendent of Schools in Wakefield, Dr. Stephen Mayo, who will be the official pronouncer of the words to be spelled by these students. Dr. Mayo.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee. I'd like to also congratulate the class of 2000 in Wakefield for participating in this program system-wide, all of the alternates. And on the stage, of course, we have already winners on the stage because they have progressed through the process already, and so they really need to be too nervous because they've already done a wonderful job. I'd also like to bring you the greetings of the school committee. Mr. William Chetwind, the chairman of the school committee, talked to me last night. He was at the junior high concert, and he expressed his regrets for not being here. He very much wanted to be with you all today. So I'd like to begin. I will say the word, and the youngsters will come to the microphone in the middle of the stage. They'll say the word, spell the word, and say the word, as Mr. Burchill mentioned. And to relieve the anxiety, I'd like to start right away, and we'll start with Santa. Okay. First word, Santa, is going to be alone. Occasionally I like to go to my room and be alone without any people around. Alone is the word.
Alone. A-L-O-N-E. Alone.
Thank you. Next word for Peter is arithmetic. One of my favorite subjects is arithmetic, where you work with numbers.
Arithmetic. A-R-I-T-H-E-M. A-R-I-T-H-M-E-T-I-C. Arithmetic.
Judges. Thank you, Peter. Round of applause for Peter. Peter Townsend. Word for Patrick is beach. During this weather, I look forward to going to the beach where we can swim.
Beach. B-E-A-C-H. Beach.
Thank you. Next word for Christine. The word is birthday. I look forward to my birthday.
Birthday. B-I-R-T-H-D-A-Y. Birthday.
Thank you. Next word for Daniel is bump. I fell off the tree, and because of that, I have a bump.
Bump. B-U-M-P. Bump.
Thank you, Daniel. Next word for Kim. The word is chance. Occasionally I take a chance, especially when I don't know how to spell a word. I take a chance.
Chance. C-H-A-N-C-E. Chance.
Thank you, Kim. Shelby is next. The word is crowd. When I go to a place, an event, I hope there is not a crowd present.
Crowd. C-R-O-W-D.
Thank you, Shelby. Alexander, word for you is farm. Farm. Occasionally I like to visit a farm, especially if there are animals present. Farm.
Farm. F-R-A-M. Farm.
Judges. Round of applause for Alexander. Paul, word for you is forest. Forest. I do like to walk through the forest where there are many trees.
Forest. F-O-R-E-S-T. Forest.
Thank you, Paul. Next word for Laurie. The word is heat. Last weekend, the summer heat moved spring to the distance. Heat.
Heat. H-E-A-T. Heat.
Thank you, Laurie. Ross, the word for you is large. When I go fishing, I hope to catch a large fish.
Large. L-A-R-G-E. Large.
Judges. Round of applause for Ross. Julie, the word is hammer. Occasionally I help my father in building and I use his hammer. Julie.
Hammer.
Thank you, Julie. Rebecca, the word for you is rabbit. I have a pet rabbit.
Rabbit. R-A-B-B-I-T, rabbit.
Thank you, Rebecca. Justin, the word for you is fourth. First, second, third, fourth.
Fourth. F-O-U-R-T-H. Fourth.
Thank you, Justin. Santa, the word for you is afraid. When I woke up this morning, I was a little bit afraid of coming up on stage. Afraid.
Afraid. A-F-R-A-I-D. Afraid.
Thank you, Santa. Patrick, the word for you is young. Young. In the future, I will not be young. I will be older and be able to do more things. Young.
Young. Y-O-U-N-G. Young.
Thank you, Patrick. Christine, the word for you is wrote. I wrote to my friend who lives far away.
Wrote. W-R-O-T-E. Wrote.
Thank you, Christine. Daniel, the word for you is worm. When I do go fishing, I look for just the right worm.
Worm. W-O-R-M. Worm.
Thank you, Daniel. Kim, the word for you is vote. During the last election, my parents did go to the polls and placed their vote.
Vote. V-O-T-E. Vote.
Thank you. Who do we have next here? Shelby, the word for you is wagon. My little brother has a wagon and I enjoy playing with it too. Wagon.
Wagon. W-A-G-O-N.
Thank you, Shelby. Paul, the word for you is turkey. During Thanksgiving, especially, I enjoy turkey.
Turkey. T-U-R-K-E-Y. Turkey.
Thank you, Paul. Laurie, the word for you is toast. I really enjoy toast in the morning with milk and cereal.
Toast. T-O-A-S-T. Toast.
Thank you very much, Laurie. Julie, the word for you is teach. Teach. Occasionally I like to teach my brothers and sisters.
Teach. T-E-A-C-H. Teach.
Thank you, Julie. Rebecca, the word for you is study. I enjoy often the act.
Study. S-T-U-D-Y. Study.
Thank you, Rebecca. Very good. Justin, the word for you is understand. Understand. I hope to understand everything my teacher is saying.
U-N-D-E-R-S-T-A-N-D. Understand.
Thank you, Justin. Santa, the word for you is question. Occasionally I have a question for my teacher after she explains something.
Question. Q-U-E-S-T-I-O-N. Question.
Thank you, Santa. Patrick, the word for you is punctuation. Occasionally the teacher will correct my punctuation when I write an essay in school. Punctuation.
Punctuation. P-U-N-C-T-I-O-N-A-T-I-O-N.
Judges, round of applause for Patrick. Christine, the word for you is principal. I enjoy talking to the principal of my school.
Principal. P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L. Principal.
Thank you, Christine. Daniel, the word for you is opinion. Every once in a while I have an opinion in class and do like to express myself.
Opinion. O-P-I-N-I-O-N. Opinion.
Thank you, Daniel. Kim, the word for you is neighbor. Neighbor, I enjoy talking to my neighbor very much.
Neighbor. Neighbor. Neighbor.
Thank you, Kim. Shelby, the word for you is measure. Measure. When I'm cooking a cake, I carefully measure the ingredients.
Measure. Measure. Measure.
Thank you, Shelby. Paul, the word for you is loyal. I am loyal to my friends and family.
Loyal. Loyal. Loyal.
Thank you, Paul. Laurie, the word for you is laundry. I often help my mother with the laundry.
Laundry. Laundry. Laundry.
Judges? Round of applause for Laurie. Nice round of applause. Julie, the word for you is information. Information. In school, I do learn because I receive a lot of information.
Information. Information. Information.
Thank you, Julie. Rebecca, the word for you is indigestion.
Indigestion. Indigestion. Indigestion.
Judges? Big round of applause for Rebecca. Justin, the word for you is immediate. Immediate.
Immediate. Immediate. Immediate.
Thank you, Justin. Santa, the word for you is action. Action. When I play, I like a lot of action.
Action. Action. Action.
Thank you, Santa. Christine, the word for you is battery. Battery. My father's car is propelled by a battery.
Battery. Battery. Battery.
Thank you, Christine. Daniel, the word for you is challenge. I enjoy a good challenge in school.
Challenge. Challenge. Challenge.
Judges, nice round of applause for Daniel. Kim, the word for you is excite. Excite. Occasionally, when we're action playing, it does tend to excite me.
Excite. Excite. Excite.
Thank you. Shelby, the word for you is ounce. Ounce. Why does gold cost so much per ounce?
Ounce. OUNCE. Ounce.
Thank you, Shelby. Paul, the word for you is saucer. Saucer. When there is a cup on the table, usually it's accompanied by a saucer.
Saucer. SAUCER. Saucer.
Thank you, Paul. Julie, the word for you is thought. Thought. Occasionally in class I have a thought which I'd like to express.
Thought. THOUGHT. Thought.
Thank you, Julie. Justin, the word for you is trophy. Trophy. When I win at something, I enjoy receiving a prize such as a trophy.
Trophy. TROPHY. Trophy.
Thank you. Santa, the word for you is independent. What I like about moving from the 4th to the 5th grade is I can become more independent.
Independent. INDENT. P-N-D-E-D. Independent.
Judges, big round of applause for Sandra. Christine, the word for you is individual. Individual. I enjoy being myself, an individual, different from everybody else.
Individual. I-N-D-E-V-I-G-U-A-L. Individual.
Judges, big round for Christine. Kim, the word for you is imaginary. Imaginary. When I was little, I had these imaginary friends.
Imaginary. I-M-A-G-I-N-A-R-Y. Imaginary.
Thank you, Kim. Shelby, the word for you is accidental. Accidental. One mistake I made on that paper was purely accidental.
Accidental. A-X-E-N-D-E-N-T-A-L.
Judges, thank you. Big round of applause for Shelby. Paul, the word for you is immune. Immune. I usually eat the right foods and vitamins so that I will be immune to certain diseases. Immune.
Immune.
I'll pronounce it again. Immune. Immune.
Immune. I-M-U-N-E.
Judges, big round of applause for Paul. Julie, the word for you is acquit. Acquit. Occasionally during a trial, the jury will acquit the defendant. Quit.
Acquit. E-Q-U. I-T. Quit.
Judges, big round of applause for Julie. You all have done a wonderful job, really wonderful. And I know it's quite anxious being when you're up here. Last two, we have Kim Orban and Justin Chapman. And as Mr. Burchill mentioned, what we'll do is I'll give each of them the word, starting with Kim. If Kim does not spell the word correctly, I'll ask Justin to spell the word and give Justin the word. All right, Kim. Yes. Oh, Justin, thank you. We'll start with Justin then. Justin, the word for you is hypnotism. Hypnotism. Hypnotism, I think you've heard of as kind of a process in which the inner mind or the subconscious mind really takes over the mind.
H-I-P-N-A-T-I-Z-U-M.
Judges, no? All right, Justin, why don't you just stay there now? All right, now I'll give the same word to Kim. Kim, the word is hypnotism.
Hypnotism. H-I-P-N-O-T-I-S-M. Otism, hypnotism.
Judges? All right, Kim, why don't you sit down now? We'll choose another word, and we'll start with Justin. Okay, Justin, the word is ceremony. Ceremony. We had a great ceremony after the athletic season. Ceremony.
Ceremony. Ceremony. Ceremony.
Thank you, Justin. Kim, the word for you is allegiance. Allegiance. In school, we learn every day to pledge allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance. Allegience. Allegiance.
Judges. Thank you, Kim. Why don't you just wait until I ask Justin to spell allegiance, Justin.
Allegiance. ALL. EAGENCE.
Judges? All right, Justin, why don't you sit down and we'll start with another word for Kim. For Kim, the word is aggressive. Aggressive. Occasionally you have to be aggressive, especially when you're playing sports.
Aggressive. AGRESSIVE. Aggressive.
Judges? All right. We'll ask Justin to spell aggressive.
Aggressive. AGRESSIVE. Aggressive.
Judges? All right, Justin, we'll ask you to sit down and we'll wait for the next word now. Kim, the word for you is exclamatory. I learned that one of the sentences that my teacher taught me is an exclamatory sentence, which usually expresses surprise. Exclamatory.
Exclamatory. EXCLAMATORY. Exclamatory.
Thank you. Justin, the word for you is longitude. Longitude. I learned in geometry that there is a longitude and a latitude when you're looking at a map. Longitude.
Longitude. LONGITUDE. Longitude.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you both very, very much. Kim, the word for you is geology. Study of rocks and formations of rocks and layers of rocks called geology.
Geology. GEOLOGY. Geology.
Thank you, Kim. Justin, the word for you is tributary. Often large rivers have smaller ones that come off of the rivers and they're called tributaries. I want the singular tributary.
Tributary. TRIBUTARY.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Kim, the word for you is unanimous. Unanimous. When there is a vote taken and everybody votes for the same thing, it's called a unanimous vote.
Unanimous. UNAAMOUS. Unanimous.
Judges, thank you. Why don't you sit with us right here? Justin, the word for you is... Does he have to spell unanimous? Okay. Would you spell unanimous?
Unanimous.
Judges. All right, thank you, thank you. We'll try another word. The word is for Kim, occurrence. Occurrence. Event, a certain event that may have happened, we sometimes refer to as an occurrence.
Occurrence. OCCURANCE. Occurrence.
Judges? All right, Justin, would you try the word occurrence?
Occurrence. OCURRANCE. Occurrence.
Judges? All right, we'll try another word now. For Kim, the word is phobia. Phobia. When someone has a phobia, he or she is usually frightened about something, some particular thing, a phobia.
Can you say it again?
Phobia. When a
Phobia.
person is frightened, we sometimes say he has a phobia about cats or insects. Phobia.
A phobia. APHOBIA. Phobia.
Judges? All right. Why don't you sit, Kim, and we'll give the same word to Justin. The word is phobia.
Phobia. PHOBIA. Phobia.
Judges? Yes? Why don't you stay there? Stay there for the next word. And the next word is diagnosis. Diagnosis.
Diagnosis.
Let me tell you what that means. You probably know. But when you visit your doctor, he will make a diagnosis. He will determine what is wrong with you before he or she will give you a prescription or to tell you what to do.
Diagnosis. DIAGNOSES. Diagnosis.
Judges? All right, now does Kim spell diagnosis, judges? Kim, diagnosis, you know what it means? Yes, thank you.
Diagnosis. DIAGNOSIS. Diagnosis.
Yes, thank you. You sit down.
Dr. Mayor, could you stay and spell one more?
Oh, one more word. All right, Kim. One more word. And the word is jonquil. In the spring, we often see I think it's usually often yellow flower, the jonquil.
Say it again.
The jonquil, a yellow flower that we usually see blooming in the spring. Jonquil.
Jonquil. JANQUIL. Jonquil.
Judges? No. The word is jonquil, Justin.
Jonquil. JONQUIL. Jonquil.
Judges, yes, we have jonquil. The next word for you, Justin, is nucleus. Nucleus. We know from studying science that every atom of matter has a nucleus.
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 NUCL. EUS. Nucleus.
Yes. Rachel? would like to say that the entire spelling bee was very, very exciting. You were a wonderful audience. Those of you who have participated were just excellent. I think after the first round, most of you lost your anxiety, and it was beautiful to see this participation at the end and the skill, especially the skill of all of you students. And I thank you very much for allowing me to pronounce.
Could we have the winners would all stand here in front of the audience, and perhaps the first and second place could also go down. Do you want to
They picked them up, actually.
Oh, okay. Why don't you all come up and take your original seats then? I don't know about you parents and you teachers. I think these students did really a great job. I know on my desk I keep a Franklin speller because I couldn't get through most of those words. Just let me ask a question, boys and girls in the audience. How many of you could have spelled every word that was asked? Raise your hand. If you think you could. That's great. That's great. All right. Next year maybe we'll have a fifth grade spelling contest at the Atwell School, and we'll use the same list of words. And I've made note of your names that raised your hand, and I'll be checking on you. It's a pleasant task now to award the trophies to our building winners and also to our first and second place winner for the spelling bee today. I would ask Glenn Dahlbeer, president of the Wakefield item, to join with Mr. Burchell here in front to assist us in the distribution of the trophies. The first trophy which is being awarded will be to the finalists from each building. Santa Zingarella, Greenwood School. Peter Townsend, Walton School. Patrick Scott, Montrose School. Christine Ross, Franklin School. Daniel Raines, Hurd School. Kim Orban, Hurd School. Shelby Nickerton, Franklin School. Alexander Nicolo, Dolbear School. Paul Murphy, Walton School. Laurie Melanson, Greenwood School. Ross McLean, Franklin School. Julie Fobwell, Greenwood School. Rebecca Kraus, Doyle School. And Justin Chapman, Montrose School. Now, if I could have Justin and Kim just stand up, and Mr. Dahlbeer will present first to Kim, the second place, the runner-up to the spelling bee, Kim Orban, Hurd School. And for this handsome gentleman over here who worked very hard and long to win the spelling bee for 1992, Justin Chapman's Montrose School. I certainly want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. I want to thank the high school television production. You see, we have 2 cameras here today. And the entire spelling bee will be on our educational channel, Channel 15. So it'll be broadcast, it'll be in the newspaper when it's on. You might want to see the contestants, and I know some of you will be less nervous sitting at home watching it and probably saying, wow, I could have got that word. So thank you very much for doing this for us. Pepsi-Cola has been generous and has supplied refreshments for all the adults in the back. Let's see, I just want to make sure that I want to thank the judges. I want to thank Dr. Mayo for a wonderful job as pronouncer. And there's one other thing I would like to say. Please, if I could have your attention, because this to me is the most important announcement that I have. This audience, boys and girls from the 4th grade throughout Wakefield, you have been a super audience, and I really mean that, and I think the adults should recognize how well they did. Thank you very much. You're really an honor to your schools and to your teachers. I will turn this over now to Mr. Burchell.
Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge some people who helped put this together, and the Dahlberg PTO is right up there in the front for providing some of the refreshments today. I'd like to thank Mr. Boyd, who did such a great job on the program, and Mr. Magner and the Herd PTO for the use of this sound system.